Well, this morning, wildfires are raging in the West Coast, being fueled by wind and heat that has dried out the rich vegetation that grew after 2 very wet years. ABC's chief climate correspondent, Ginger Z, takes a closer look at the record-breaking heat.
In parts of the western U.S., wildfire season is off to an early and destructive start. So far this year, CAL FIRE says that more than 150,000 acres of land have burned in California. That's nearly 5 times more than the year-to-date average. Record-breaking heat is drying out that abundant vegetation that grew in the last 2 years, where we saw above-average precipitation. Pair that with wind and low humidity, and they've had ample fuel for the flames. While there's still a lot to learn about how our changing climate influences wildfires, we do know that greenhouse gas emissions have led to more frequent and more intense heat events. According to the federal government's 5th National Climate Assessment, that means more dry brush and vegetation for the fires to feed on.
You may not be able to ascribe single events to climate warming, but man, it is making the probability of these kinds of really disastrous years much, much higher over the medium and the long term.
Emissions aside, the biggest impact has been from humans in a much more direct way. U.S. Forest Service data showed that 85% of wildfires are started by humans. Mostly accidents, like unattended campfires or sparks from a vehicle or power line. Another compounding issue? Our rapid urbanization. We keep building into nature.
For many, many decades, when the population was still relatively low, and when most people weren't living in highly risky landscapes, big fires would occur, but they wouldn't affect anybody. But now big fires occur and they're burning through places that have thousands of people living on the landscape.
So how do we live with fire? Perhaps the growing threat will influence how and where we build our homes, the way we manage our forests, and it may mean letting smaller fires burn themselves out.
We will not get out of the woods on this if we continue to try to put every fire out, and that's where we put all our eggs in that basket, because we're just going to continue to have disasters.
With this Climate Minute, I'm Ginger Z.
Time is